Hey there, welcome to Hawkeye. This is Brian, Dan, and Johnny Boychuk. No, not really, I'm kidding. Okay, time for hockey picks, boys. First game on tap here, we got St. Louis at Detroit playing the Red Wings. Oh, the Red Wings, great team. Always consistent, original six. St. Louis, now, kind of up in the air lately, especially since, I don't know what happened there. Especially since their backup goalie, Yaroslav Halak, got injured, and Brian Elliott kind of had to handle the whole workload of being the goalie. Granted, he's a amazing goalie. Had a goals against average over the whole season of under 2. I think it was like 1.58. Something astounding like that. Something not human. Something Tim Thomas-like, if you will. But the Red Wings and Jimmy Howard, I feel like he's kind of like more or less one of the unsung heroes of the goalie universe, and he's solid in that. If you look at the game he played against the Kings the other day, the Kings, they had so many scoring chances, and he absolutely shut them out on those chances. The game almost went into overtime, but it was it literally came down to the last few seconds and a shot dribbling in under Jonathan Quick's 5-hole. Not like that. The Blues have been favored to win in multiple games this season, and the Red Wings haven't been. And on both of those occasions, the opposite outcome has happened. St. Louis lost, and the Red Wings won. You wouldn't expect a team like the Red Wings that's normally consistent but is up in the air this season, and a lot of people don't know what to make of them. They beat the defending Cup champion Kings. You expect the St. Louis Blues to beat a horribly disciplined Dallas Stars team at home, and they lost. So I know what to make of the Red Wings, and I say they're going to beat St. Louis. And if I'm wrong, well then, God damn it. Dan, what do you say? Dan the man, ladies and gentlemen, the man, the myth, the legend. Dan the man.
Okay, so I think that Detroit's gonna win this one because if you just look at their roster, they have Zetterberg, huge goal scorer. What are you doing?
Turn the marker.
Datsuk, who's a huge goal scorer, and then Jimmy Howard, who is probably he's definitely one of the top 10 goalies in the NHL. He might be sneaking in somewhere near top 5, maybe not quite top 5 yet, but he's getting there. And I think that combo, that those 3 players, are what sets the Red Wings apart from all other teams in the NHL. They may not be the best team in the NHL, but they're up there. And when they actually find themselves, I think they're gonna be huge this season. What about you, John?
These guys are going to see a lot of each other this year. They've already seen they've already played 3-4 games
Like
with each other.
Fourth game.
And the result of those 4 games were the Red Wings pretty much stomping out the Blues. This is basically a line-to-line type of game here. We got the first line of the Red Wings, Datsuk and Zetterberg, and then you got Backus on the St. Louis line playing a huge center role for the Blues. I think it's going to come down to goaltending. So the question is, who has the better goalie here? I'm going to go with the Blues on this one because I believe in Elliott.
I like how John put that. He says, I believe in Elliott. I believed in Obama. But if I had to... Leah smiling at me back
into
there.
this.
I promise that was my only one this week. I do like what John said, though. He believes in Elliott, and I don't blame him. There was one thing I should have added to that game, though. I think if Yaroslav Halak does start that game, then they have a much better chance of beating the Red Wings because like I said, Elliott's had to handle the workload of being the starting goalie for the whole season. Granted, it's how many games now?
With each other?
14 through the whole season.
Yeah.
Yeah, 14 games through the whole season. That might not seem a lot, especially since it's a shortened season to 48 games, but for a goalie in that division, it is, because you get teams like Dallas that really should have made the playoffs last year. But anyway, that's enough of that. Next game on tap is the Caps and the Bolts. I'm going to take the Bolts in this one right off the bat, and I'll tell you that I'm going to take Tampa Bay because... There we go. I'm going to take Tampa Bay because, one, they're at home. Two, their goaltending is fantabulous when it needs to be. And the Washington Capitals are really, really, really bad this season. And that's not because they beat us last year in the playoffs. I'm really not saying that because of that. That made me respect them more. Especially because of the playoff run the Bruins made a couple of seasons ago. We won the Cup. We won 3 Game 7s. Especially one on the road in the Stanley Cup Final. Hi, Vancouver. The Caps, a lot of people expected Braden Holtby to be their starting goalie and handle that role because he played an amazing series against Boston. But they have Michael Neuwirth now, who, I feel like when he feels like it, he plays a really good game. But Tampa Bay is playing a considerably good brand of hockey right now, even though their coach, DeBouchet, did say that there were a lot of things that they could do better in terms of executing, passing, playmaking, seeing passing lanes, seeing scoring lanes. But in games like this, where you have teams like Tampa Bay that are kind of rebuilding in a sense against teams like the Caps that really didn't need to rebuild, even though they did lose a couple of key guys like who just got traded to the Hurricanes from the Caps. It wasn't Beagle. They might lose him though too. Anyway, we'll save that for later. They did lose one of their key players to the Hurricanes, though, and I think that's the reason why they're really unsuccessful this season. But you know where I stand. I'm taking the Bolts. What do you say, Dan?
For me, this is kind of a no-brainer. I mean, the Caps are doing absolutely garbage this season. The Bolts, they're doing pretty good. They're definitely doing better than the Caps, so I'll go Bolts this game. Who you got?
Well, it's easy to say that the Caps have been struggling this season. They're really struggling on offense, and they're letting up goals, which has hurt them. But Ovechkin hasn't been able to execute, and that's pretty much been the problem. But then you got Stamkos firing on all cylinders, not doing as good as he would hope, but still getting it done on the ice. So I'm going to go with the Bolts.
All right, next game. Flyers in New Jersey against the Devils. We have a rematch of the Eastern Conference semis right here. This game, I think I'm going to take the Devils because the Devils are playing really good despite the fact that Marty Brodeur is like a million years old, and I love Marty Brodeur. Marty, if you're watching this, please don't hit me with your stick. Your goalie stick for those perverted viewers that we have. I'm just kidding. I love all of you. I'm going to take the Devils because I feel that in some cases the Flyers can be a really good team. They're a playoff caliber team. They've showed us that the last couple of seasons. However, I do feel that in a lot of cases, the Flyers are a moderately stupid team. They make a lot of bad passes. They think they see things that aren't there, probably a Stanley Cup. And their goalie should learn to speak English. And he should also learn to play goalie. Good. What do you say, Danny boy?
These are two very good teams. They're two of the best teams in the NHL, I'd say. As Brian said, the Flyers a lot of talent there, but a lot of stupidity and mistakes, and they kind of need to get that ironed out. But once they do, I think they're gonna make a playoff run.
Good job.
What was that?
I'm sorry, BB
I
King.
know.
BB King wanted to make a pick on the game.
I love BB King. Anyway, I'm gonna go with BB King's choice and the Devils. What do you say, John?
Well, with the Flyers, you get a lot of deceiving passes going on. Inside passes that obviously aren't there, like Brian said. And then with the Devils, you get good inside passes and good goaltending. So I'm going to go with New Jersey on this one. Whether it's Hedberg or Marty Brodeur, this team is going to get it done against the Flyers, and I'm going to predict a 3-goal win from the Devils.
I found out who that Caps player was. It was Alex Seven. It was on the tip of my tongue. Unfortunately, it was that guy's name that was on the tip of my tongue. Because that's wrong and gross. Next game on tap, Ducks and Red Wings. Now, I know that I did pick the Red Wings to beat St. Louis, but the Ducks are off to a really good start. And Teemu Selanne is off to an amazing start this season. He's 43 now. Teemu Selanne? Yeah, he's 43, and he's off to an amazing start. So is the rest of the team. Their goaltending is pretty solid. I think Corey Perry's been a little bit quieter this season than he has last season. But he's also a guy that I think Boston should trade for. The Ducks beat Vancouver 7-3 on Vancouver ice this season, and I think that was a really big win for them because it gave them a morale boost. Considering they haven't been a team that's been thrown in the mix in terms of playoffs. However, to beat Vancouver 7-3 on Vancouver ice, I think that really does say a lot, especially for a team like the Ducks. And the Red Wings, you know what I think of the Red Wings. They're a good team, but I think that they can't win both of these games, so I think I'm going to have to take the Ducks on this one, and I feel like this is going to bite me in the butt. But we'll see after this weekend. Danny boy, what do you say? What do you know? What do you say? Strike that, reverse that.
Well, okay. These are two of my favorite teams in the NHL. I'm just going to put that out there. The Ducks with Sidney Crosby, they've got some really good players. They make some really powerful plays. And the Red Wings, like I said earlier, Howard, Datsuk, and Zetterberg combination is deadly. They can take down just about anyone if they're on. But hurts me to say this because the Red Wings won my pick last week. I really like the Red Wings. I'm going to go with the Ducks. Who you got, John?
Well, the Ducks obviously have talent here and in goaltending, but the Red Wings do too. I think this one's going to go into a shootout, in my opinion, and obviously the Red Wings shootout team is probably better. Obviously, I'm just predicting that, but they got Datsuk, they got Zetterberg, and I think just those two alone. I'm going to go opposite of my pick up here, too. I chose the Blues up here, so I'm going to hope for a win here with the Red Wings.
Next game on tap, we got the Flyers and the Habs. Now, like I said, the Flyers have to traverse really good goaltending in this one. Maybe not so much as in this Habs game right here, but they will have to do it. Because Carey Price just recently got a really good contract, 6 years for $30 million?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, 6 years, $30 million with Montreal. And Montreal has a really good team. They got depth. They got really good defense. They just signed Subban to a new deal, and I think that's really going to help him incline his game in terms of performance. And he's a good defenseman as it is, but I think in this game he's really going to shine because, like I said, And like John said, the Flyers look for passing lanes and they look for scoring lanes that aren't there. Stanley Cup. And the Habs just play a really tight defense, and if they really want to, they can take away the boards, they can take away the neutral zone, and they can take away their own. They can take away the attacking zone for you. They can take away your own defensive zone. So I feel like that's really going to work in the Habs' favor. Like I said, I think the Flyers are a stupid hockey team in a lot of senses. So I think it's not even a question. I'm going to take the Habs on this one. I really am sorry, Philadelphia, but your team needs help. Dan?
Okay. First off, I want to correct a mistake I made. I said Sidney Crosby was on the Ducks. He's not. But
They wish.
regardless, I think the Ducks will win anyway. But I just want to correct that. On to the Flyers and Habs. The Flyers, I'm going to basically say what I said before. Stupid plays. They need to learn, but they have talent. They have the stuff to win the games. They just need the brains to win the games. And the Habs, okay, let me just put this out there. I was really mad last week when they lost because of 1 second
Oh,
to
Ryan
the
Miller.
Sabres.
Ryan Miller.
I would have actually won the picks without a tie if they won that one, but Brian had to choose the Sabres,
You should have
who
listened. To
won
me.
by 1 second.
Win by 1 second or win by 59 minutes, and in 59 seconds, you still win the game.
Regardless,
I'm sorry.
the Canadians played well in that game. They really did. They really have shown throughout the season that they can go toe-to-toe with the best of them, like the Bruins. And so yeah, I'm going to choose Montreal on this one.
I'm going to make this one short and sweet because, frankly, I do not like the Flyers. I'm going to go with the Canadians on this one. And that's simply because of Carey Price and what he's been able to do on the ice. And just signing PK Subban, their defense has gotten back to where it was last year. Now on to the Coyotes at Sharks. You got pretty good defense on the Coyote side, but you also got Boyle and the Sharks on this side. But I'm going to make a random pick here, and I'm going to go for the Sharks.
I like your pick on this one, Sean. I really do. I like it. It shows character, just like Milan Lucic says the Bruins showed character. Speaking of which, that was a great game last night. Unfortunately, to those who didn't see it, watch it now, like right now, as I say this, pause this video and go watch it.
the highlights.
Yeah, watch the highlights. Don't watch the whole game. Watch the highlights. You don't want to see the parts where the Rangers score, especially if you're a Bruins fan, like me. Short and sweet. I'm going to take the Sharks in this game, and I take the Sharks because they were undefeated in January, and they have yet to win in the month of February. They also lost a really. God, that was a killer. They lost to their NHL rival, and I shouldn't say rival because there's not really a real legitimate rivalry there like there is in Boston with Montreal, but in the sense that going into that game you had the two best teams in the league. You had Chicago and San Jose, and on home ice I really did think that San Jose was going to win that game, but I guess I was wrong. I'm wrong every now and again, but I wasn't wrong about that Buffalo Montreal game. I hate to do that to you.
I'm still in pain from that. I felt like physical pain when that goal went in.
I felt physical pain the first week when I went 1 for 5 and you went 3 for 5. So, we're even now. Even though we broke even last week. What do you say? Coyotes and Sharks. Where's the game, boy? Where's the game?
Okay, this is going to be short and sweet because I feel like John and Brian have already said all that needs to be said about this game. I'm going to agree with them. It's going to be Sharks. It will be an interesting game, though. So, I'd suggest watching that one. And, this is it for this week. Thank you guys for watching. and goodbye for now.